Welcome, precious souls. Clear the energy. I have been shoveling nonstop for a long, long time. And I'm taking a break from it right now because, well, quite frankly, because it's quite the workout. But I can also appreciate it because it's allowed me time to really meditate and kind of like go within, if you will, okay? Like do more soul searching, which is pretty wild. And of course, spirit never fails us. They will get us to look at things that we might be avoiding on day to day life when we get all fixated on other things. But we'll see what comes up for this reading. I want to see if it resonates with what I've been feeling, but I'm doing this for you guys. So, the collective that's watching this, I trust and I have absolute faith that it's going to find exactly what it needs to. So, I'm reaching out with my higher self to your higher self, our guardian angels, our spirit team, ascending masters, and all of the beautiful spirit realm that work for our highest good with the absolute harm to none. Please come through and tell us, what is it that we need to look at today? What is it the collective I'm speaking with needs to talk about today? All right, so we have the Fool. It's about taking a chance on something. Something, okay, I think this is exactly what I meant. Something that will probably seem absolutely crazy or not realistic to everybody else. Okay. Oh, yeah, this makes so much sense. Okay, sorry, I get excited easy. I get excited when I buy a new frying pan, for goodness sakes, but that's what life is supposed to be about. Okay, so here's what I was going through, okay, when I was doing like hours and hours of shoveling. When I was very, very young. I remember saying, everybody's like, well, what do you want to be when you grow up, right? What, when you're looking at eventually going to high school and you got to start choosing kind of what you want to do in life. My goal was to be a child psychologist. I had a deep yearning to help those who needed some guidance on their path, right? And I remember when it was time to finally choose what you want to do, what you want to also do with your life, right? Like you're choosing courses in high school where you want to go. And I remember having the child psychologist thing. It was put on me by others that, oh, that's going to take years of university and that's a big deal. Do you really want to, commit to something like that? It's a lot of money. Where's the money coming from? Like, how are you going to do this? And blah, 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 right? So I kind of squashed that idea and I kept thinking maybe another time I'll do that, right? I didn't take the leap of faith and trust in myself and trust because back then I was so young, right? I didn't understand. I hadn't gone through the leap of faith that took me to understanding these channeled messages and everything that we have within us, right? I hadn't been there yet. I was very young. So I didn't take the adventurous path unknown because I was convinced by people I loved and trusted that they would know me best. So they would probably have a pretty good idea of what was meant for me and what wasn't. All right, so when we were making decisions about when we follow this, guys, come on, it's worth it. When I was supposed to be making decisions on what I wanted to do with my life, I remember having then, okay, I'm not a psychologist, but then, and I started looking at my whole entire life. I was very inspirational with others, loved to bring people joy and really reach in and I could see their higher selves. I didn't know what that was back then, but I was seeing their pure potential, okay? And I knew how to draw it out of them. Even the people that really struggled with stepping outside into the adventure side in life, I could pull it out of them. It was a natural ability. And I've always been chatty Cathy. I love to talk. I love people. I love to see what makes people tick and fix things, right? So my next choice, since I wasn't worthy enough or good enough to manage to find a way to be a psychologist, was I want to be an inspirational speaker. Now, back then, I'm not going to age myself, but back then, that was like not heard of a lot, right? It was not a popular saying. These days, it's called an inspirational speaker, a life coach. I mean, everybody's doing it, right? So, decades ago, I remember saying to the people I loved and cherished and worshiped their opinion because I always thought, well, because you're older, you must know me better, you must understand better, you know things. And I said, I want to be an inspirational speaker. And of course, the reply was, that's not even a real job. right? Okay, so again, I did not take the leap of faith in myself. I didn't look at it any further. I didn't research it. I didn't do any digging. And I did not go on that adventure. I stayed with what was tested and true for somebody else. And this comes down to, oh my gosh, these cards, they're amazing. Like, I mean, these cards came out, guys. And this is exactly what my channeled message was while I was doing that. And I knew this would resonate with somebody. There came a point in my life, and it was quite recently, it wasn't that long ago, where I decided to rebel against what I thought everybody else, what their opinion was, or, you know, they knew so much better, because I never trusted in myself. I never trusted in my own guidance, my own intuitive abilities. My higher self was talking to me all through life, and I didn't listen. Instead, I'd ask the people that I thought were wiser or who knew me better. And then I stopped trusting my own decisions, where I'd run it past these people. And all the wrong decisions were made in my life. I mean, you can go and also remember, like, we take something from all of these mistakes. They're all a part of our learning, okay? But I could have shaved a lot of years and stress and misery off of my life had I just trusted in what I wanted. Instead, I took sometimes 3 jobs to make ends meet, you know, getting in relationships where I was the main provider, just all kinds of craziness. Give, work, work, work. I worked myself so hard, and I'm not crying the blues, because it was all meant to be, okay? But then I reached a point where I'm like, all these failed relationships, many of them very narcissistic, taking from me because I'm still looking outwardly. This doesn't feel good. And they're like, oh, well, maybe the problem's you, right? I know this is striking a chord with somebody. Maybe the problem's you. You just choose very horrible people to be in relationships with. What's wrong with you? You know, how come you're struggling financially when you go through those lows in life, when you're supposed to be learning something and starting changing your ways? Instead, you keep going to the same problems. You know, why are you struggling? You work so hard. Why are you not like so-and-so? Why are you not doing this? You know, I don't understand why you're doing so difficult in your life. Like, because I kept listening to everybody else. I was living the life that everybody else had chosen was deserving of me. Okay? This is where it should be. You know, no. So I broke the chains, and I'm like, I've had enough misery in my life. I don't care if I ever have to, if I have to spend the rest of my life alone, if I have to spend the rest of my life alone, I'm good with that. This is what happens, is it really fires you up. You get so tired. And then they laugh at you. They're like, oh gosh, look at you failing again. You got another dud for a partner, or you've really, wow, like your job, like you're not doing so good there either, are you? It's because I never followed my calling. I broke the chains, and I'm like, I'm doing it. I don't even care anymore. You become, and this is what beautiful life, the beautiful universe does for us, and it's so toxic, but it's so good, is they put you in such misery that you absolutely, it outweighs the fears now. Now you'd rather take the leap of faith and go on that journey of, I don't know what the hell's out there, but I'm doing this all different. And you just completely let go of all the kind of people you were naturally attracted to, which, by the way, were a big part of being attracted to the unhealed parts of yourself that stemmed from growing up, okay? So, you know, that's going to be important for somebody. But once I let go of that, and I said, now, wait a minute. I'm a damn good person. I've always given and given unconditional love. Worked my ass off. Literally worked my ass off. You know, everybody else is sitting down and done for the day, and I'm still going for hours. That kind of, and I'm like, so what is going on? What am I missing here? The big lesson is to choose myself and start trusting in myself. Because then I started looking at the people that advised me. Would